Hello YouTube and welcome. Glad to see you guys back. Got a really interesting video for you guys today. I'm going to be taking a look at the Garmin Instinct. Now Garmin, that name sounds very familiar because they're the guys who make the GPS units that we all use and make the technology that, you know, is built into a lot of the cars that are on the road with the in-dash GPS units. You know, Garmin is responsible for a lot of those. Okay, so now let me explain to you why I got this watch. Now, I had been an Apple Watch user and I'd also been a Samsung Gear Frontier 3 user. Now, in my experience with those two watches, I'll start with the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch itself was fragile. I mean, it felt like you had an egg or a light bulb taped to your wrist and you had to go throughout the day without breaking it. You know, I'm not really an athlete. I don't do anything, no marathon running or anything like that, but I do enjoy the convenience of having notifications on my watch. And I'm at a certain age where I want to be able to keep track of my health, my heart rate, you know, my daily activity. And I want to be encouraged by tracking those numbers to, you know, do more to stay in shape. Now, with the Apple Watch, it did all of that, but it was more of an extension of my phone first. And then the fitness tracking were like the last two things in my experience. And it's really cool to be able to send and receive messages and all that, but I don't need a watch for that. I need a watch for its function. And if I'm getting one to kind of try to stay fit and stay, you know, in good health, I want one for that function. So the Apple Watch didn't work out for me for those two reasons. It felt very fragile. Well, actually three. Felt very fragile. It was more geared toward, you know, a miniature phone than it was a fitness tracker. And you have to charge the thing every single night. I have a problem with that. I've already got to charge my phone. We're already programmed to the fact that, you know, my phone needs to be charged. But for me, and I'm older, a watch, you put it on, you forget it until you get ready to take it off. That's how I think about watches. Now going on to the Samsung. The Galaxy Gear Frontier is the Samsung watch that I own and I'd used for roughly over a year. Same thing. It was a little heavy. It didn't feel as fragile, and it had as a moving bezel that spins around, which is, you know, you're constantly, you know, rubbing it up against stuff. You're constantly changing the dial. You're constantly trying to enter the password. Every time you touch the screen, it's super sensitive. When I would get into the shower with the Samsung watch, you know, it would constantly be doing things because the water would interact with the screen. Didn't do it with the Apple Watch. However, with the Samsung watch, the water would interact with the screen. So that was a nuisance. And on top of that, it had a better battery life, and it would last about 3 or 4 days. And you still would have to constantly charge it. And with both watches, the Apple Watch and the Samsung watch, I found myself in situations where I would take the watch off. I would be doing something. Again, I'm not a mountain climber, marathon runner, or a triathlete or anything, but I would find instances where I would have to or feel the need to take my watch off so I wouldn't hurt it, whether it was the Apple Watch or the Samsung watch. Now, with the Garmin, in particular, the Garmin Instinct, now this isn't the solar model. This is the regular model. Has all the same features except for some of the power save modes that the solar model has, because it gives you the power range in days instead of a bar that we're all used to. Let's get right into the unboxing. Now, I've already been wearing this thing, and I picked it up roughly 3 or 4 days ago. And I've charged it one time. Let's go ahead and get the box open real quick. Here's the watch inside of the box. It's beautiful, okay? Inside the box with the watch, you get a charging cable. It's got the little end that plugs into the back of the phone. And you get two pamphlets of information, okay? Pretty simple unboxing there. Let's go ahead and get the phone out. I'm sorry, go ahead and get the watch out. Now, taking the watch out of the holder here, again, I've worn this already. Taking the watch out of the holder, you get an immediate sense of the quality. Now, when I say quality, this watch is built to meet military specs for 810 specifications. For, I believe it's shock, dust, and temperature, okay? Now, on the watch, it's got a sticker over the cover, like every watch has. Everything you buy now that's electronic has a sticker showing you what the graphic will look like. But I want you guys to catch this. Let me get the angle right. So here's the sticker over the watch, and here's the actual display. It delivers on what it says. This thing is tough. There's the heart rate monitor going on back there in the back. Now the band, I'll start with the band. The band is an interesting, you can see here it's very stretchy, but it doesn't feel like you're gonna be able to break this. If I tried to break this, I really doubt if I could. Now on the band, it's got a metal clasp. Now this is a light metal. It's a soft feel metal. I don't know if it's titanium or not. I don't think it's stainless steel. It's coated. Now, as you feed the watch, now when I first got it out of the box, I noticed this curve. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's supposed to be there. Now, when you are wearing the watch, you would feed it through, of course, the keepers on the band. First one slides in as normal. This one, you'll notice that it's a little hard to get in there. And the reason because there's a tooth. Hopefully you guys can see that. There's a tooth inside of one of the keepers, which when you wear the watch, that tooth falls in line with these grooves. And this thing, there, it is cinched in. It is not coming off of your wrist. This little flap, the way it's curved up, is meant to be like that because as you would wear the watch, that piece would curve up most of the time anyway. Now, with that curve built in, it holds the pressure against that tooth to hold the watch in place. So if you are active, you do not, and I repeat, you do not have to worry about this watch coming off or worry about it pulling or snagging or anything. Now, let's talk about the weight. In your hand, you can tell that this thing is substantial. It's not heavy. I don't want to say it's heavy, but it feels solid. Now, once you put it on your wrist, I don't know what kind of magic Garmin is using or if it's actually the way that these lugs that hold this band are spread out. When I say spread out, I mean how wide they are and how far they are away from the center mass. This thing feels like nothing on your wrist. It feels like you're wearing, a rubber band. That's about it. You get the feel of the rubber on your wrist, and that's about it. It has absolutely no weight, none. Now I've charged this thing up one time, and I've actually yesterday I went on a 2.6 mile bike ride, which kicked my butt. But this thing, I used the GPS feature doing that, and this thing has not moved a notch since. Now, it rates a standard battery life of 14 days in regular smartwatch mode. And for regular smartwatch mode, what I mean by that is you're getting your notifications, you've got your heart rate tracker going, and it goes 24/7. Now, it's not constantly beeping. Right now, I was looking for my arm. But it periodically checks, and it gives you, if you have it set up, you get a graph. I'm not going into the specs of the watch much or into the features and the options. There are plenty of videos out there that do that. What I wanted to cover today is the build quality, the unboxing experience, and my experience when dealing with the Apple Watch and the Samsung Watch. There will never be an instance where I will feel like, now I paid $200 for this. Now, right now, it's back up off of sale. I bought it from Best Buy for $199. You may be able to find it for $199 for the non-solar version. The solar version, of course, is going to cost you more. Now, my next one, I believe I might go with the solar version, but with the battery life that I'm getting out of here, I don't know if I really would need to. Like I said, I've used this thing for 4 days straight, and it's still at 100%. Bars are still full. I've used it, the GPS tracking mode on my bike ride yesterday, and absolutely nothing has changed. I wear it all night. It's not uncomfortable where I feel like I need to take this thing off to go to bed. You forget it's there. Back to the build quality. Now, we've talked about the band. Now the back, it's a polymer also. Reinforced polymer is what this thing is rated to have. And the front, there's not going to be an instance where I feel like I need to take this off. This thing is toughly built. I mean, I've had G-Shocks, of course, everybody has. And I've had tough watches before, but this thing is built like a tank. I don't care if I were cutting the yard, going to bed, taking a shower, changing out my oil or whatever. I don't think that I would have the need to take this watch off. It is that well built. Now, in comparison, the Apple Watch, like I said, the Series 4 and the Samsung Gear S3 Frontier, both of those watches, there were instances that I had to take it off. For the Apple Watch, it was to charge it and to keep from knocking it up against something and breaking this, fragile piece of glass on my wrist. With the Samsung, it was because of the weight, and it was because it was so sensitive on the touchscreen, even after turning down the features. It was so sensitive that, if you got it wet, if you got in the shower, or if you were washing your hands or washing dishes, the screen would go crazy because it was so sensitive and the drops would activate the screen. This is not a touch screen. Everything is done through the buttons. It's simple. It does what I need. If you've got a guy in your life, or if you're a guy looking for a smartwatch, of course you want to get your notifications. This thing does it beautifully. Now, the reason why I say that, it was literally a 3-step process, if it was 3. You turn on the watch when you open the box. It tells you to download the Connect app from Garmin. You download the Connect app for Garmin. Once you open that app up, it starts to look for the watch. Once you agree to the pairing process, the watch is paired. That's it. That's it. If you're an iOS user and you've used Android devices, wearables, like me with the Samsung, you know that it can be a day and a half process to get the settings to where you can actually get your alerts on your watch the way that you need to. With that Samsung Galaxy Frontier 3, it took me forever to figure out, after changing settings in the phone and manipulating the settings in the watch, to make it to where that Android watch played nice with that Apple phone. Not in this case. You download the app, you turn the watch on the first time, you open the app up, it finds the watch, you agree to the pairing process, and that is it. This is my first Garmin watch. Now, if every Garmin watch that they make has the same setup, I'm sure it does, there's only one app. It's a beautiful process, and everything I want from my phone to come to my watch comes through. No problem. The Connect, if I walk away from my phone, it comes back into connection seamlessly. If my phone dies and I just have the watch, or I've left the watch does everything and keeps track of everything. So when I do get back in connection, it all transfers over to my phone. So I don't lose any data because, I don't have my watch right. I don't have my phone right here. I've just got the watch. I mean, it's the best purchase that I've made in a wearable device to date. This thing is, again, I cannot stress to you guys, this thing is well built, well built. It feels of quality. Feels of quality. Hope you guys like this video. Glad to be back. Glad to have you guys back here with me. Hopefully that little sticker on my plant isn't showing. I had to get my YouTube plant, the metal plant holder with the plastic plant in it that everybody has. I had to get that, guys. Hopefully you guys like this video. Comment, subscribe, check out my other videos. You notice that my channel is kind of all over the place. It doesn't really it has a technology theme to it, but I try to keep it interesting. I try to talk about things that I like, that I know that I can't be alone liking. And I like for you guys to stick around for more. Thank you so much. Peace.